Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations, Conversations, and Conversations again. And we are here with Neelam ji again, Neelam Batra-Verma ji, who is going to share more about her creative side of life, from writing books, on to painting, and yet doing something very serious. This is the second part of our conversation with her. So, hello, Neelam ji, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me again, Kamarjit ji.
It
was nice talking to you last time too.
Yes, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you as well, knowing you a little bit more. And today we want to know a little bit more with some experiences, related to your book, related to your magazine, your struggle, and what were the key elements that helped you to keep the, magazine going as well. So, my first question is, what does your daily routine look like when you are busy with your, work daily? Maybe you're writing, sometimes it's a key time that you have to, you plan that I need to complete this task for my book or my magazine, whenever it was. So what did your day look like at that time? How did the family interpret your day, because they have their own demands too.
Yeah, running the magazine, I was running it when my kids were still in school. So the demands were really high. Waking up in the morning, getting them ready, dropping them off to school, getting their breakfast, lunches, like every other mother would do. And I would plan my day in such a way that if I have to go for appointments, whether it's for marketing or for interviews, I would drop the kids to school and then go for my appointments and then come back, pick them up from school, give them their snacks, drive them to their activities, cook dinner in between or pick dinner in between. And then once when the kids are settled in the like late in the evening, then I would start with my magazine mostly. Sit for 4 or 5, 6 hours, either designing it or researching for an article or talking to people, interviews, looking for freelancers, looking for advertisers, looking for funding.
Yeah. Did you ever feel during this process, because not very many women, when you were doing this work, I am not sure if there were many women here doing this work in magazines, owning any magazines or publishing magazines at that time. So did you feel that you were being judged, or
Many
what was
times.
the
Yeah, it was hard to break into the male profession, not journalism as such, but more about publishing a magazine, being the editor, being the publisher on your own. There are a lot of men, professionals, journalists, other South Asian editors, reporters, like who would just say like, why are you doing it? You know, it's not worth it. Why are you wasting your time? Like they were male competitors, you can say, who were just out there to pull me down. Anywhere, like we meet in a press conference, they would just, uh, you know, the basic kind of respect that you give to a woman, even that wasn't there among the journalists in Vancouver I encountered with, the South Asians I'm talking about.
That is really sad. And
yeah,
we hear
because
that.
they just looked at me as a competitor, not as a journalist or a colleague. Like when I was in India, I was covering press conferences there too. But that was not the way I was treated ever. The way I was treated here. Like I was covering press conferences of Congress parties, BJP, business issues, you know, companies giving their press conferences, and they were all male, female. We were all treated equally. But unfortunately, coming to Vancouver, this was really different. It was a shocker for me. Like, how could they do that? There was an incident I remember. A renowned commentator in a South Asian radio. He called me once. He said, "Oh, we have something for you. Why don't you come over?" I spent the whole day. I went to meet him, and all he had to tell me was that, "Why are you even doing this?
Oh.
And why Hindi? Why do you want to promote Hindi? Why don't you do it something else?" I mean, he asked for it, and he's a senior journalist. Senior, much senior to me.
Yeah, this is very.
And this was a shocker for me. I was shocked that why did you even call me? Like, I came all the way,
Yeah.
and all you had to tell me was why I'm doing this.
Yeah, yeah. It is, I agree with you. It is very, very disappointing seeing gender-based discrimination and, the power dynamics in our community that still hasn't gone, despite coming to this side of the world, whereas all over, we see a lot of changes happening, and yet a lot more has to be done in this. And there is a subtle discrimination as well. Sometimes it is not there, you were subjected very openly. Sometimes it is very subtle. So one has.
But mostly with me, I have felt it very open.
Yeah.
Like the first newspaper I joined, a community newspaper, the manager, first thing he asked me was, "Are you apna?"
Wow.
So for me, coming from India, I was new, like I was here maybe a month or two only. For me, apna means anyone from India, right?
Yeah.
That's what you would presume. But then this person, I said, "I'm from Delhi." So he says, "Oh, then you're not apna." He said, "What does that mean?"
Oh.
So that means you're not from Punjab, so you're not apna. So we talk about discrimination within the Canadian, workplaces or other kind of locations that we talk. But then it's unfortunate, but it's true that there is discrimination within the communities.
Yeah.
Yes. South Asian community is not one community. It is divided depending on your religion, the place you belong to, your education, and where you live.
Yes, where you actually, the root of your origin.
Yes.
Which
particular from Delhi?
Yeah. Everybody seems to, have put themselves in closed coffers like that.
Yes.
And it is very unfortunate. I have heard that too. And not only from you, but from many of our, South Asian community people, whether they are from Delhi, Mumbai, or any other place, even Punjab, even within that community. People
and I was shocked to see there are so many social issues that sometimes we don't even have heard about them back in India. So I thought maybe that's an issue. That's why I started the magazine. Okay, there are tons of social issues, so let's start writing about them. Yeah. Even people could not tolerate the editorials I wrote, the articles I did. I would get threatening phone calls. Like, why are you writing this? It doesn't happen. It's not true. I said, show it to me. It's not true. I can prove it's true. It happened. You prove it to me that it's not. Yes.
Yeah. But you made it through and you stuck around for a long, long time. And I'm glad you shared this. It is important for everyone who will be visiting this page often, anybody will be, I'm sure people will come back to listen to it. But tell me that, when you started the magazine, you mentioned that you were publishing, editing, doing everything by yourself. Did it involve any business registration at some time?
I'm sorry, involve what? I didn't get it.
Any kind of registration as a magazine owner?
Oh, yeah. You have to, you got to start with getting your name registered. You have to give I'm in Coquitlam, so the Tri-City Chambers of Commerce. So they'll give you your registration and then you get your license from wherever city you're from.
Yeah.
Your title. So they are the ones who are going to give you your title, the name of your company, the license, location where you want to do before you can really start your business. Yes, it's like any home-based business.
Yeah. So did you incorporate it, or was it only sole proprietor?
It was sole proprietor.
All right. Yeah, good to know. Good to know for the viewers who are looking into this, because I can see during this time of COVID, many people have, become very creative. They were on their own and they were exploring different ways. So did you consider getting any funding once you established the magazine, you set up the basic thing? Did you think
Not
of
really.
that?
I did explore a few government funds that they have for women and all that, but the amount they give you is not worth it. They'll give you like $5,000, $10,000, like that's, and then the interest on it is so high.
Yeah.
It really doesn't make any sense. I would rather take my own line of credit from the bank, which will be cheaper for me than take a loan from them.
Okay. Yeah.
I did explore, but didn't really take anything.
Yeah, because when there is, good funding or monetarily, if the magazine has a sound base, then you can do a lot more work, and so.
And
Yes,
I had reached a stage where I was breaking even, so I didn't even think about it. And it takes away a lot of your time.
yeah. Yes, because mainly you were the only person who was, and you never hired anyone to support you, or even did somebody volunteer with you at that time? Because
No,
it
not, I
didn't.
had volunteer writers, I had freelancers, I had a marketing team. I would pay them commission, but
Okay.
they really didn't get too much. Like, they're not answerable to you. They'll get one ad here and there and that. So mostly I was doing my own marketing and I was doing everything myself.
So in a way that the patrons for the magazine Asian Outlook, they didn't contribute much in a way as being a patron as such.
It did contribute. It's not that it didn't. The advertisers were paying. I really got some good government ads.
Wow. Okay.
The political parties like NDP supported me throughout.
Wow. Okay.
Throughout, like liberals were not that open, but NDP, almost every MP, MLA would advertise with us and support us. So they were good supporters. And other than that, I got some government ads too. So that's how I was able to survive for 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So the magazine lasted, you ran the magazine for about 6 years. You had paper-based magazine too, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
discussed
It
last.
was paper based. I had a website too, but then mostly it was paper based. I would just update my articles there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the book, like, how did you decide about the book, the publisher for the book, getting it printed? You wrote the book, and what all went into the final product of the, the book as such? Do you have a copy of that? Can we see
Oh,
it? Yeah. Can you bring it a little bit more closer? Yeah. Yes. Now we can see it. It's beautiful. The cover is so well done. And yeah, thank you.
this cover was done by a friend.
Okay.
The publishers, though I paid them to do the cover and everything, but they didn't really work hard on it. I wasn't very happy with it, so I had my friend design the cover for it.
Yeah, it's really worth it. It's really good, very good book, And so the publisher, like, did you discuss this book with a few publishers before you could narrow down to one? What were the reactions of these publishers?
Um, it's difficult to find publishers for a first-time author.
Yeah.
So mostly I self-published this one. But now for my second book, I have an agent who is looking for a publisher for me. Because now that I have already published one book, so it's like you have a history, you have a resume.
Yeah, yeah.
So then it's easier. Like for a first-time author, it's very difficult.
Yeah. So what was the reaction of the publishers when you spoke to them for your book?
they don't really react too much. We'll get back to you. Is most of that. Their reaction is that we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you.
Oh,
Once they say that, you know what they mean.
yeah. They didn't care to listen to the story.
Yeah, they did. They
They
did.
would
It's not
spend
that.
time.
But then, you know, everyone has their own agenda. Like they have their own policies. They know what is going to sell more, and then they can get the money. For a first-time author, it's difficult to sell.
Yeah, and for the book, when you published it yourself, how did you promote it? Did you get any on, like, were you able to promote it the way you would have liked to do it?
Mostly, I had a couple of events back in Delhi when I was there. I had a couple of events. I had lots and lots of reviews because
Yeah.
once the book was out, so I got lots of reviews on in the newspapers, in magazines. Some of the video channels interviewed. So that's how they got to know. And then, of course, my own advertising on the net, Facebook, Instagram, and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yes. So can you, I mean, you are also doing paintings now. So do you see a trend of some strand of golden thread that has flowed right from your story writing, your book and your magazines onto the paintings? Is there something that is shaping up? That
I have always been mostly writing on human interest stories.
yeah.
So that means that anything that touches my heart, either I write about it or I want to paint.
Yeah, yes.
So that's what I do. Anything like, for example, long ago, I don't even have that painting, but then it happened, when Babri Masjid was broken and all that time. I had done a painting on that.
Okay.
Then I did a painting on, if you've seen that viral picture that went around where, last year when the lockdown happened in India, and all of a sudden, all the migrants, all the laborers, they were going home.
Yeah.
And then there was a picture that went viral in which a child was seen being dragged by the mother sleeping on a suitcase.
Oh, I must.
Yeah, that was a picture that went viral. So I'm doing a painting on that.
Yeah.
And then what else? I did one on rape issues, how women are being affected, some rape and how. But then my latest, which I'm doing right now, is the indigenous people here, how the bodies of children are being recovered at various graveyards and burial grounds.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a painting on that.
Yeah, yeah.
So anything that touches my heart, either I write about it, and if I can paint, because I'm not a professional painter or I've not learned painting like that, like in a classroom setting, if I can do it, I'll do that too, if I have the time, because painting takes more time than writing.
Yeah, it does. It does. It depends. But then anything that comes from your heart, it'll be good, because
Yeah.
your heart and soul and your, body is all connected and creating something. So that is the time it'll reflect a lot more of your passion and your ideas and your thoughts. Do you
Yeah.
have anything to show us?
I have, there's just one lying in this room. This I did like a couple of years ago.
Okay.
3-4 years ago.
Oh.
This is just a bit a river in Venice.
Okay.
So I just did from a picture. This was my first painting, which I started when I restarted painting recently, like 3-4 years back, because I'd forgotten how to use brushes. I'd forgotten how to mix colors. And what is the medium used, because it's been so long, like 20, 25 years, I've not even touched my pen since my kids were born.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. But I really admire your courage to, continue on the path of learning. It's always learning. I'm noticing that you're studying also, like you mentioned last time.
Yeah,
And
it's a paralegal program that I'm doing. It's basically to challenge myself and see if I can really do it. Because at work, you reach a point where everything becomes so monotonous and you're not really using your brains, because whatever you do not thinking, because you've been doing it for so long that it just comes to you naturally and you're not really thinking too much.
yeah, you have to be creative and you have to give it a break, a pause to start
Yeah.
afresh. I think that's where continuous learning helps quite a bit.
Yeah, it's important to keep learning, to keep changing, to keep challenging yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you have any other book in the making? Are you planning to write another book? I know that you are doing short stories as well.
Um, I have one already in the pipeline. Let's see when it will get published. So it's complete. It's with the agent. I don't know how long it's going to take. But this time I'm going to be very patient. Like last time when I did my this book, I was so excited that I just wanted to publish it
Yeah.
ASAP. Like I was really excited and oh, I completed it. It's done. It's fabulous. Blah blah. So I was just in a rush.
Yeah, yeah.
This time I'm being very patient and I'm taking my own time.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But then that book, you had taken time to write that book, right? It
Yeah, the pandemic
naturally.
pandemic helped. You were not working from home,
Yes,
right? So you had the time, all the 3, 4 hours that you spend commuting, I could devote that to writing.
absolutely.
And then your body is not that tired when you're at home. You're working from home, you're not as physically tired as you are when you really go out and, go to the office and then taking transit or even driving.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Time well utilized, very well utilized. So I want to know something more from you now, and that is like there could be many people, many youngsters, many women who have who have a creative side to their lives. We all have, and they want to develop that. They want to write, or sometimes they are writing and they may stop writing. I particularly know of a woman who writes beautifully, but she doesn't have the courage to collect her writings and do something with it. They're beautiful. They touch your heart and they literally bleed your thoughts, like this is what
Is she writing poems or?
she writes. Poems, and she writes short stories. So I will share this with her as well. Like, what would be your words of encouragement, or what would you tell these people, who may need some of your insight, thoughts to take some steps to stop, to counter the obstacles that may show up, or in mind also, or physically, sometimes when you're doing something, taking a step, like you said, there is this gender-based discrimination where, you were just told to stop, quit whatever you're doing. But so what would you tell them?
All I can say is people talk a lot. It's up to you how you take, how you understand, how you analyze, and you think where are they coming from and what exactly you want in life. Because there are so many people who are out there to discourage you. There'll be just 1 or 2 people who will encourage you,
Yeah,
but 1,000 will be discouraging, will be, giving you negative vibes, will be talking negative. But if you really want to write, you have to write. You just can't think, oh, I want to write. You have to sit down, take your pen and paper, start writing, and make sure that you write every day. That this is something which I don't do, nor did I do with the book. But for those who really want to write, have a book published, you should write something every day. And if there are some people who really don't know where to start, for them, I would say start by writing your diary, write a journal, write about your feelings, write about your day, write about what your child did today. What conflict did he encounter at school today? What are the conflicts the teenagers you have they're facing in school, during sports activities, in their gymnasiums? Anything that touches your heart, just sit down and write about it. It may not be a book. It may not come out to be professionally written. It may be nothing. But it will give you some satisfaction and it will guide you.
Yeah.
One day when you look back, that's how I did my book. Whatever came to me, I wrote. Whenever and wherever. Whether I'm on the train, it's on my phone. I have a pad. I'll write on my pad. And then eventually one day I just sat down and compiled everything and put everything together. It took me a while, but it was done. So if you want to do it, just do it. Don't wait for inspiration to strike you. That will not happen. Your inspiration will come from your daily activities, from your daily lives, from a news item you have seen, from a friend you talked to, a colleague who shared her problems. You can even write about that. Anything.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. I'm sure many people will be encouraged. Many youngsters, my idea is that many young people who want to write, because they are going through a lot of turmoil in their own lives. So it's good to write, get on to writing and share your thoughts and publish it as and when, you feel
And
up.
these days people are doing their blogs too. So you can start your own blog. But then there are some people who don't want to share their private life online. Of course, even I'm the kind of a person who don't want to share my private life online.
Yeah.
But you have a diary, you have a journal. Just write.
Yes, it's important. Yeah, that's good.
And write whatever. It doesn't have to be a professional writing. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It does not have to be chronological. It doesn't have to be sequence. What strikes you and it comes from your heart, just write.
Yes. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Neelam ji. Hopefully another day we will meet sometimes
Sure.
when you publish the second book.
Yeah.
And we'll know more about it then. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Kamalji.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.